Hey, what's up? My name's Pierce, and with me I have Michael, and welcome to Peter's Oblivious Opinions, a podcast about anything entertainment, depending on how we're feeling and what we like. This can include so many things. That can include movies, it can include music, it can include people, it can include books, saws, and so much more. So without further ado, we're just going to jump right into today's episode. So today's episode is actually the second part of our third bracket in our battle bracket series, where we have some of our favorite movies facing off to see who wins and moves on to the next level until we eventually crown a champion. So if you haven't listened to our last episode, make sure you go ahead and do that. It's the one with about the Green Inferno. And today we're going to be talking about its competitor, Dead Silence. So I guess we can just jump right into kind of a summary recap of the movie here. Michael, do you wanna jump in and maybe say a few words about what this plot's about?
Yes, I do. I'll give a quick explanation.
Okay.
So, basically, it's a horror movie. And it starts off with a guy and his girlfriend actually, I think it might have been his wife. They're living in their apartment and they're having a good time doing casual husband-wife things, non-sexual things, just living in their apartment, just for clarification. Anyways, then a randomly package gets delivered to their residence, and they open it, and it's a very creepy looking doll. Actually, it's not they call it a doll, but it's like a ventriloquist dummy. Anyways, so they're like, oh, what's this? Who sent us this? They're like, oh, weird. And they put it on the couch and they look at it, and then they see its mouth open in front of them, and naturally it doesn't strike any fear into them at all, and they don't care that it just moved by itself.
Classic.
So anyways, he leaves to go pick up some Chinese food, and his wife is at home, and she covers the ventriloquist dummy in blankets to surprise her boyfriend / husband when he comes home to try to scare him. Anyways, so that happens. Eventually, it gets all spooky, and then it kills her. And then he comes home, and he's like, oh, God. So he calls it in that his wife was murdered, and then, of course, since he is the only suspect, he's the prime suspect of the murder. And I've gone on very long for like a very short, irrelevant part of the movie. Anyways, I'll just keep going.
Good for context.
Okay, much context. Anyways, so then he gets interrogated by this homicide detective, who then is like interrogating him about if he's guilty and stuff, and finds weird contradictions in the story. This guy doesn't care. He just wants to go find out how his wife got killed. So then they eventually let him go because they don't have enough evidence to arrest him, apparently. And then he goes on a quest to find out what happened. And then he goes through a bunch of stuff. Casual, like, solving a mystery kind of horror thing where like one clue leads to another, then he meets other people who are kind of know the story, and then he gets it out of them, and eventually he finds out that it's the ghost of an old ventriloquist lady who kidnapped a kid, who pointed out that she was moving her lips when she was doing her act, which probably everyone knew. But she was angry enough to kidnap him later and turn him into a doll / ventriloquist dummy. And then this family got revenge on her by like cutting out her tongue and killing her and stuff. And then it turns out that it's the main character's family, which is why the whole thing started. So she was trying her ghost was trying to systematically kill off everyone in his entire family. So anyways, he eventually tracks it to her secret lair, and him and the homicide detective chases him there because he doesn't believe him, but then finally the homicide detective believes him because he starts seeing some crazy stuff going on. So anyways, they start fighting this lady, and they realize to kill her, they have to burn all of her dolls. And she's got 200 dolls. So they end up burning her entire lair to the ground. The homicide detective dies throughout that sequence. And then
Very sad.
he goes back to his dad's house, who I haven't brought up to this point at all, even though he's fairly important to the story. Basically, his dad knew what was going on, kind of, it seems like, but
also
sent his son away. What were we going to say?
His dad has like no screen time either, though. Like he's important, but he's not. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's definitely not crucial to the story, but still important. Anyways, so you find out that he has a terrible relationship with his dad because his dad neglected him and sent him away, but it turns out he sent them away because of this curse of this lady, this ghost murdering everyone. So anyways, and he's living with his new stepwife after his previous two wives either died or left. So he's got this new wife who's the guy's stepmom. Anyways, so they burn the lair to the ground, and then turns out the last dummy is with the dad. So then the main character goes there and goes to burn it. Then he finds out that his stepmom was the ghost the whole time, and she was using his dad, who was in a wheelchair because of a stroke, as a ventriloquist dummy. And then the guy's like, oh my god. And then he dies at the end.
Yeah.
How is that for a summary?
That was as good of a summary you're ever going to get, people.
That I could have, I want to give me 1 second. I want to read what the IMDb summary is.
Okay. I know.
I wonder if.
Do you think that the stepmom was also a dummy, maybe too, because she was living vicariously through the dummies?
She could have been.
Because I remember in that sequence where he's reading all the notes, it says the best dummy ever, and there's a picture of the stepmom, I think.
Oh, the perfect dummy or whatever?
Yeah.
So you think she constructed her?
I'm not sure, actually. I don't know.
No, I think you're right. Because they didn't establish that she could possess humans, so it's the only possible explanation.
That's the only way I could think of it.
Yeah. Okay. I also missed one important factor.
Okay.
Basically, when the lady got murdered for kidnapping that kid, they forced her to scream, and then they cut her tongue out.
Right, yeah.
So then her method of getting revenge was she could only kill you if you screamed, and she would kill you by ripping your tongue out of your face.
Yeah. And then stitching it onto her own tongue.
Yeah, so the main character knew this, so then he would never scream, even though a bunch of creepy stuff would happen, and she would try to kill him multiple times. But eventually at the end, he just, I don't know if he gave up or what, but he screamed, and then she got him.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a pretty sad ending to a story where you're rooting for the guy the whole time.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah.
It's pretty disappointing.
All right. So I don't know if we want to jump right into rating here now, if we're done with the summary there. I'm thinking we go straight for plot.
Yeah, we could.
I think that's the best idea when we're talking about the plot summary.
Yes.
Yeah, I think you suggested that in episodes past. Because we
have we'll just do get plot.
Yeah,
get plot right out of the way.
Okay. So the plot of this movie, I don't think it was as the movie doesn't have great ratings online. Um, I don't think the plot was that bad. I really don't. Like, I think it genuinely has a decent storyline for a horror movie. It's pretty creative with the whole screaming thing and the tongue thing with the ventriloquist dummies. And the only real knock I had on the plot is there were some. I can't think of any specific things, but I remember seeing them throughout it. Seeing some plot inconsistencies, as well as I. But
Yeah.
yeah, and I also wasn't a huge fan of the ending with the plot either, because you're kind of rooting for the guy the whole time. For him to just die in such a lame way was kind of sad for me.
Yeah, that's true. He really didn't die in a lame way. I think it could have been better if she like tricked him into screaming or something.
Yeah,
But the way I don't know if it's the way they filmed it or something, but it honestly felt like he just gave up at the end.
yeah, yeah. I also felt like, that Detective Lipton, the detective there, felt like his death was like cool in the fact that it was like an untraditional way to scream, but was pretty sudden and kind of like a weird way to kill off a character that I personally kind of liked a lot.
Yeah, me too. No, he was my favorite character in the movie.
Me too. Yeah. The other thing is with the detective that I found really weird is that like weird thing where he was kept shaving his neck all the time.
Yeah.
Like I felt like that was a really weird attempt in the plot. I don't know. I just include writing and plot at this point.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. Uh, but I thought it was a really weird attempt of giving him like niches and making him more relatable. When, if anything, in my opinion, it made him feel more distant to me.
Yeah, it was like a forced quirk that was like so just unnecessary.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah.
I think there were a few things that wrong with the plot. Three that I can think of right now.
Okay.
The first most obvious one is that this detective is tracking a suspected murderer, and he has absolutely no backup or any communication with any other police officers at all.
That's so
The
true.
entire movie.
Also,
He's
sorry, keep going.
He's basically a private investigator.
Yeah.
That's what it seems like.
Yeah. And that like makes me think like, doesn't he travel to like a pretty far away other city too to track this guy? Like, because the detective's in some big town, and he seems to travel pretty far out of that town. The original, like the main character there, and the detective follows him. Could he be like way out of his jurisdiction?
Yeah, probably. Unless, is murder a federal crime?
Oh, maybe, yeah. Maybe you're right.
That could be it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
How state's law works.
Me neither. Man, that's a good point, though. But I mean, they're probably separated into jurisdictions anyways.
True.
So that's pretty funny.
But don't you
Anyways,
don't you think he has better things to be doing all day than tracking this guy for 3 days or whatever it is?
yeah. Like even like I feel like they could have arrested him, because even though they might not have like the evidence they had was that he was with her the entire time, and that his only alibi was that a dummy murdered his wife. Like, I feel like that's enough evidence to take to arrest somebody.
Yeah, at least for questioning.
Yeah, but then they just let him go, but still track him?
Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of weird to me.
Yeah, it seems. I don't know about that. And there's two other things.
Okay.
Another one, when he's at the motel.
Yeah.
Actually, he kind of carries this doll with him through the entire movie.
Right.
And he had a perfectly good box to put him in, but instead he just carries him out in the open.
That's true.
And puts him in the most creepiest spots.
That's really
always sits him up in chairs, not just chucks him on the ground.
true. Also, why did he bring the doll with him?
Yeah, who knows? Maybe he thought it was connected, but I don't know.
It's weird.
It was so weird.
That's so yeah. Okay, and what's your third one here?
My third one. Okay, you know how he goes to the ghost's lair for the second time because the guy he heard the guy call him there or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
Well, he goes there, and the boat is on his side of the river. So
Right.
if the guy was there and took the boat there, it would have been on the other side.
That's true.
But the detective does point that out in the movie, so it was definitely intentional. But
That's true.
it kind of showed the main character was kind of an idiot.
Yeah. Yeah. Also, though, like I feel like when he rowed the boat to that island there, it was like a really long and arduous trip, and somehow he just swam all the way back really easily.
He swam back? Why did he swim back?
Because remember, he fell through the basement into the water, and then he
Oh,
just swam.
yeah. Oh, yeah, that's so weird. Why did he swim? Yeah, he definitely made that swim no problem.
Yeah. Maybe he's an Olympic swimmer.
Probably. Most likely.
Most likely. Seems like the likely explanation.
Yes.
Yeah, no,
But,
this is some pretty glaring plot holes you've brought up there. That
I think the most obvious one for me is the cop, the homicide detective that has absolutely no backup.
yeah. it's
But, that's fair. That's fine.
it's yeah,
It's just funny.
it was pretty funny. Oh, I don't know. I think I'm ready to rate it. I don't know, like, given that we aren't experts on any of these subjects, I don't know what else to say about the plot here.
Me neither. I feel like plot will just kind of come up as we keep going through it.
Yeah. We can always revisit it at the end and change our rating if we need.
True.
I'm ready to rate it. Do you want me to tell you my rating here?
Sure.
Okay.
I just got to bring it up.
Sounds good. All right. So I felt that this plot had a really good base, and like it was a pretty decent idea for a horror movie. Um, the execution on the plot might not be totally ideal, um, but I thought it was still such a good base idea. And when it's a decent base idea, I normally start it off around the middle of the pack, but I am going to dock it for those inconsistencies. So I'm going to actually give it a 2.7 out of 5.
Oh, wow. Okay. I'm going to give it a 2.6.
Solid.
I was planning a 2.7, but then also I was thinking about some of the dialogue, and I'm like, some of this is just not good.
Do you have any examples that you can think of off the top of your head?
Just like...
Oh, I do, actually. Never mind.
Okay, what are your examples?
Okay, I have one example in particular. So when he runs out of his dad's house to run to the to drive to the theater?
Yeah.
And the detective chases after him?
Yeah.
Do you remember what the detective says before he gets in his car?
Oh yeah, isn't he like I don't have a full tank of gas or something?
Yeah. What is that?
Like yeah, that was funny how they made him the comic relief of the movie.
I don't have a full tank of gas? What? What a weird... Like, I guess he's expecting to chase the guy for a long period of time, but also he knows where the guy's going. That's a really off and weird comment to make when you're getting in the car.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, I can't remember any specific ones, but...
Yeah, it's not good.
A little bit of cringe.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah.
But anyways.
All right. What do you want to move on to next here? I'll let you.
Let's go to actors.
Actors. All right.
Yes.
I guess we'll just go down the Wikipedia list again.
So, I guess we start with the main guy.
Main guy? Yeah, sure. So that's Ryan Kwanten. Kwanten, I don't know how to pronounce that last name, as Jamie Ashen.
I don't know if you're talking right now, but you kind of cut out for me.
Oh, sorry. I'll repeat that. So it's Ryan Kwanten as Jamie Ashen. I'm not sure if you did you hear me there? Hey guys, sorry about that. We had a little bit of technical difficulties there, but hopefully that is a little bit cut out there, and we're back here. We're going to start talking about the actors in the movie, which is going to be,
Yes.
I think, one of the more exciting categories here.
Absolutely, it will be.
Oh,
Especially our main actor, some Australian guy.
Ryan Kwanten, however you pronounce it, as Jamie Ashen. All right. So if I'm presuming if you're this far into the battle bracket, you've probably watched another one. But just in case you haven't, we actually do a rating system for the actors when we talk about them before giving them a rating out of 5, and it's on a scale of F to S. So F is the bottom of the scale, and S is the top, and it's your standard letter scale. It's just S is like that superior level. So yeah, I guess we'll just get going with Ryan Kwanten here.
All right.
I'm not sure. How do you think he did?
Well, I thought he did all right. I definitely wasn't blown away, but one problem I had was that he basically didn't care at all when his wife died.
That's true.
Like, actually, when anyone died, he didn't have any emotion.
No, he was very straight-faced the whole time.
Yeah, he was definitely one-dimensional. Just had no emotion.
Yeah. Yeah, he wasn't the best. I personally don't think I was invested in his storyline as much as I could have been. And even when he kind of acted at the end there, he didn't act out of fear, like you said. It was kind of more giving up. I don't know if that was on purpose or not.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it just didn't. I didn't feel for the guy as much as I felt I should have for the main character in such a sympathetic situation.
Yeah, it should have been a really sympathetic situation, but yeah, I really didn't care about what happened to him.
No, me neither, which is weird, because normally I find myself empathizing with main characters a lot in movies, and I feel like his acting was just pretty unconvincing that I didn't feel it.
Yeah, definitely was unconvincing.
Yeah. I'm just trying to figure out, because he does carry the brunt of the movie for the whole time, which is not an easy feat as an actor, I don't think.
Yeah.
So I don't want to rate it too low.
Yeah, and it definitely, like, it wasn't a bad movie.
No.
So it's not like he brought everything down with his acting. It was just like, I don't know, it's like he didn't seem... Like, he definitely didn't seem like he brought something extra to the role that literally anyone else couldn't have done.
That's true. That's very true. Yeah.
And he really had no emotions.
No, absolutely none. I don't want to give him a failing grade, though, just because he does manage to get through the movie fairly well. Not exceptional. So I think I'm just going to give him just like a slightly passing grade, and I'm going to go for that C.
Me too.
Yeah. You just don't feel for him in the movie. It's hard to explain, you know what I mean?
Yeah, he's just not you just don't care what happens to him.
Yeah. And I just don't feel the fear from him ever. He almost seems playful at some points. Like, yeah, I don't know.
Oh yeah, that's true. He has no fear at all.
No, like even in the main house there with the detective, I don't know if this is writing, probably not, but he just kind of charges ahead and he kind of goes back and gives a wink and a smile or whatever, like he's being playful going ahead into this big house, and it's like,
yeah,
I don't know if that's the
so
right
weird
emotion to be given off there.
Yeah, that's true. It's probably also hard to act as an actor in a horror movie when you can't scream.
That's true. That's very true.
So I'm sure, but still, he still could have shown like
fear in his face.
Yeah, or like they could have made it seem like his pulse was going up or something.
Yeah.
Just like other side things that would imply that he's scared. But
I agree.
they just didn't do that.
No.
He had no fear the whole time.
No fear whatsoever. It was weird.
Yeah. Yeah, so I think the C is justified.
Yeah. Is that what you're giving him too?
Yep, I'm giving him a C.
I don't know if I missed you saying that or.
Okay. You might have cut out or something.
Okay. All right. If we want to go down the Wikipedia list, the next person on the list is the stepmom actually. Amber Valetta,
really?
As Ella Ashern. Yeah.
She had a very minor role.
Yeah, a very minor role. I mean, I guess she seemed pretty cold in her role, which was what it was supposed to be.
Yeah, she definitely seemed a bit odd. She at least had... She seemed to have some emotion.
Yeah. Even though you find out that she's probably a puppet as well.
Yeah, yeah, that's kind of weird that she's a puppet.
Yeah.
So...
I really don't know where to put her because I'm genuinely confused with the performance.
Me neither, because she really didn't have much of a role.
No. I'm gonna put her right in the middle because I feel like she didn't, add anything exceptional to the movie, but she didn't really do anything worse to the movie. So I'm just gonna put it at a
true.
B.
A D? Yeah,
A B.
I'm with you there.
Yeah.
Okay, give me 1 second.
All right.
All right, sorry about that.
No,
just getting harassed by a cat.
Oh, is it being harassed when it's a cat?
Yes. It's getting bullied when it's a cat, actually.
Getting bullied? What was it doing?
It was yelling at me for me to open the door and let it leave.
Fair.
Yes, true. Anyways, okay, so who's next?
All right. Next is the man, the myth, the legend himself, Donnie Wahlberg.
Yes.
The best. He's so good. He's so good. Like, I don't even know.
He carried this movie.
He carried this movie so hard. So hard. I was just waiting for scenes with him in it.
Oh yeah, me too. I wish he was in more of it. And they could have just taken out the main character, made it his wife that was murdered, and then the entire movie's about him. I think that movie would have been better.
Much better. Keep him as a detective even. Like, to be honest, like we've both watched this movie twice. We watched it once together before COVID hit, and then we watch it once right before we do this podcast.
Yeah.
And so I had completely forgotten about the main character this second time I watched it. I legitimately thought Donnie Wahlberg was the main character of this movie.
Wow.
Yeah. Like, that's how memorable his performance was, though.
Yeah, I didn't remember. That's actually true. Like, I thought that the main character was going to get killed.
Yeah.
At the start, and we were going to find out that someone else was the main character.
Me too.
But then it turns out he was. So yeah, I totally felt that too.
Yeah.
And, I was expecting, because I remember I love Donnie Wahlberg.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, man, this has got to be, like, before I started watching it, this has got to be it's probably his worst acting ever. And I watched it, and even though the writing and the movie wasn't that good, his acting was still, like, way above everyone else.
I agree. And he's given all these, like, terrible writing plots, like that weird shaving thing, and being kind of like a haggard detective, or like a kind of off-the-books detective, and he still has to be comic relief at the same time while being this off-the-books detective tough guy, and he somehow pulls it off, and I just don't know how.
Yeah, it's like he takes a bunch of puzzle pieces that don't fit together at all and then fits everything together.
Yeah,
which only a true Oscar deserving actor could do.
That's true. That's true.
He
Honestly,
definitely could have won an Oscar for this role.
he should have won an Oscar for this role. What year is this? 2007? Who won the best actor for 2007?
Best actor, 2007. Forrest Whitaker.
He deserves this. I don't know. Forrest Whitaker's pretty good, but he definitely deserved to be nominated for Best Actor in the 2007
Yes,
Oscars.
Definitely. I mean, he probably wouldn't have won it because the writing, because you need to have the writing and the acting together. But
I agree, 100%.
yeah, let's. So yeah, what else can we say about his acting? He actually showed emotion.
He showed so much emotion, anger. He showed fear. He showed, what is it like? I can't think of the word right now, but like when he's like I guess nervousness, anger, fear, nervousness when he's going into the theater. He showed, he just showed so many emotions. Like he's the best actor in this movie. No questions asked.
Yeah, and even when he hears the guy's story,
Yeah.
it's like 99% of him is like, you're an idiot.
Yeah.
But then you could tell there's like the 1% of him that's like, it's possible, which could be why he doesn't just arrest him right away.
Yeah.
And why he's like following him around.
I agree. He does a good job of that. It's just,
yeah.
I don't even know what else to say about him. He's just unreal in this movie, and somehow in this movie that's generally unfavorable in every review ever, he is the shining light.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And you know what? I knew he was going to die because I already saw it.
Yeah.
But even then, it felt like such a loss when he died.
So much of a loss. I felt like I didn't even want to watch the rest of the movie.
Yeah, you're like, okay, is the movie over yet? And you know what? I totally forgot about... Like, I thought the movie was going to end after he swam out of the lair. I completely forgot about the actual ending.
I did too.
Which shows that I just clocked out after Donnie Wahlberg's death.
Same. He's the most memorable part of the movie. Like, I'm not going to remember the stuff without him in it.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I'm not going to remember this main character, but Donnie Wahlberg with his trench coat, mustache, and receding hairline, and its skilled acting was just unreal.
Unreal. Now, I have a theory, okay?
Okay.
So, this movie was written by the same people who wrote Saw. I don't know if you know that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I heard that, yeah.
And directed by James Wan, who, I don't know if I think he directed the first Saw as well. Now, as you may know, Donnie Wahlberg plays a detective in the Saw series.
Oh, yeah, I totally forgot he was in Saw.
Yeah. Now, do you think that these two detectives... Now, the Saw he stars in is Saw 2. Only one of the writers, the two of them, worked on both. Leigh Whannell is his name. He actually also was an actor in the first Saw, but he worked on Saw 2 as well as Dead Silence. Do you think there's a plot? Donnie Wahlberg, of course, the detectives have two different names of Eric Matthews or Detective Lipton. I don't even know if he has a first name in this movie. How possible do you think it is that they're the same character?
I mean, there's the rage in both of them.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like you could easily swap the characters out from either movie and put them in the other person's spot.
True.
But at the same time, they do die in both movies.
That's true.
So that's my only concern.
Are you ready for wild conspiracy theory time?
Yes.
Okay, so Donnie Wahlberg, okay, his character in Saw. Now, this is huge spoilers if you haven't seen Saw, but if you're watching this podcast, you're already used to spoilers. Anyway, he goes in Saw 2, right? He whole kid kidnapping thing, everything goes wrong, right? Now, he dies eventually because he gets trapped by the Saw guy, like in like Saw 5 or something. He has like small parts all the way up to then, and then he eventually dies in like, I think it's Saw 5 or something with these two ice things. Now, do you think maybe it wasn't actually Detective Eric Matthews that died in Saw? It was a body double, and instead he's under Jigsaw's paywall with all the emotional baggage of everything he's been through, and that's why he gets that whole shaving thing, because it comforts him. It's a psychological move to comfort him from everything that's happened to him, from all the stuff that's happened to him in the past. Gets him through it. And he under Jigsaw's paywall becomes a detective and stumbles into this case that also has to do with dolls, and that's why he's so fascinated and follows this guy to the town to figure it out, because it has to do with these dolls that resemble, the doll from Saw, who's also named Billy, actually, which is the name of the doll in this movie.
Oh my god. That could be it. And maybe Jigsaw sent him not as a detective, but as an assassin, which is why he had no police officers or backup, and why he followed this guy and then pulled out a shotgun and started obliterating dolls left and right, and then burned the place to the ground.
That's true. That's true. That's so true. And also, oh my gosh. Okay, that's why he hates the dolls. Anyway, also like like Jigsaw's whole thing is like retribution or whatever it is, like for stuff people have done, right?
Yeah.
Getting revenge, essentially. Um, what if Jigsaw planned this whole thing with the tongue thing because this family killed this woman and ripped her tongue out, and this is his retribution for that?
That would make sense because his retributions are always so overkill.
Yeah, yeah. Wipe out the whole family line. I think we're onto something.
Wow. Speaking of Donnie Wahlberg and detectives,
Okay.
I'm looking through his Wikipedia page, and he plays Detective Eric Matthews in Saw, Detective Jim Lipton in Dead Silence,
Okay.
plays Detective Ted Riley in Righteous Kill,
Okay.
and plays Detective Moran in What Doesn't Kill You. But then he also plays Deputy Glenn in Purgatory.
Really? Oh my gosh, he's just that must
You
be
can have a full day's you can have a full day's marathon of Detective Donnie Wahlberg movies.
I think we should do it. I'm in.
Oh, and that's not even his TV series. Okay. TV series, Detective Joel Stevens in Boomtown. Detective Kirk in The Path to 9/11. Detective Horst Colley in The Kill Point. Detective Andy in Kings of the South Beach.
Oh my god.
Detective Mike Moriarty in Bunker Hill.
Detective Danny Reagan in Bloods. I'm just looking now too.
Oh yeah.
Holy moly.
So, that is a lot of detective roles.
He's got it down. He knows what to do.
Yeah. It makes sense. He nails it down.
Man. I need to have a Donnie Wahlberg detective marathon now.
Me too.
You best bet that's going to include every Saw movie that he's in.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. Okay.
I just
Anyways, we
he's
should
also
probably
he's in Band of Brothers.
Oh yeah, he is in Band of Brothers.
He plays a character named Carwood Lipton.
Yeah, same name, Lipton. Maybe his Band of Brothers character is also this character.
Maybe he was cryogenically frozen from the World War.
From World War II.
Yeah. Okay, I think we might be getting a little sidetracked here.
Yes. Okay.
With our crazy fan theories.
Yes. Okay. Let's keep going. Okay, so what's your rating?
So I actually added a category called S+. I don't know. Actually, I think we might have given an S+ out before, but I'm giving Donnie Wahlberg an S+.
Me too.
Yeah.
There is no other option than that.
Absolutely no other option. I would be disappointed if you gave him any less than an S+.
Me too. Honestly, he carried this movie.
So
And
this movie is unwatchable without Donnie Wahlberg.
honestly, yeah, it's like the writing isn't like, yeah,
Yeah,
it needed him in it. He carried this,
so much.
and he made me like I would watch a sequel if he was in it.
I would too. I would watch. Honestly, if they made 10 sequels of this movie and each one got worse from this one, but he was in it, I would watch them.
Yeah, me too. Totally fair. Okay, S+. Anyways, are there any other actors worth even talking about?
I don't know. We kind of went off on Donnie Wahlberg there.
I don't know of any other Well, do you have any you want to talk about?
Not necessarily. I think the only other person that did a pretty good job is that Marion Walker, the Joan Henney, who plays Marion Walker.
Oh, the crazy old lady?
Yeah. Thought she did a good job of that. But I think I'm ready to give my rating if you are.
Sure.
Okay.
But yeah, that lady did do pretty well. But for time's sake, we should just keep going.
Yeah, for time's sake, we should keep going, but I would probably put her up above a B. But we got to keep going.
Yeah. Okay, so my rating for actors, it's so hard to judge because Donnie Wahlberg single-handedly carries it.
True. Well, okay, what I did is I got it 5 out of 5 if it's just Donnie Wahlberg in the movie, right?
Yes.
Now, that is severely lowered by the other performances and the lack of Donnie Wahlberg's scenes and him being in every scene.
That's true.
Yeah. So I'd say he's in about 70% of the movie, so that's lowering it down to 4 out of 5 for me already. Plus, the main character's performance was just passing, so I'm down to 3. I don't want to give it a 2.7 because I gave plot to 2.7, but I'm kind of leaning there right now.
Do it.
I'm giving it a 2.7. Yeah.
I'm going to give it a 2.8.
Solid.
For similar reasons. Yeah, they definitely needed more Donnie Wahlberg in there to carry the story.
Honestly, if Donnie Wahlberg was in every scene, I'd be giving this a 5 out of 5 for acting.
Oh, me too. His acting was flawless.
Yeah. Take notes, film execs. We know all of you listen to this podcast for your opinions.
Yes. Honestly, like Donnie Wahlberg, he's such a good actor.
Yeah, he is.
But he's like not in like a lot of big box movies, right? Or any at all. No. I don't even know if he's in any.
Well, most people think of Donnie as, Mark Wahlberg's brother, right? Because everyone knows who Mark Wahlberg is. But I really think Donnie has some real solid acting chops. Like, I think he's probably a better actor, especially in certain roles, than his brother.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
I think so too. Though I like his brother. But I think Donnie Wahlberg's a better actor.
Me too. He's really good. Oh, it doesn't get better than Donnie Wahlberg.
Yeah. Plus, I love how he can go from Band of Brothers to this.
Yeah.
And just nail both.
How does he do it?
I don't know. Okay. What should we move on to next?
I do want to mention one more thing about Donnie before we move on.
Sure.
I'm still on his Wikipedia page, and his first movie, Bullet, he plays Shelby Big Balls Horn. His nickname is Big Balls.
I can't wait to watch that.
It has Mickey Rourke and Tupac in it.
That sounds so bad, but so good.
Oh my gosh, we have to watch this. Peter Dinklage is in it too.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, we definitely need to watch that.
Okay, I am typing this somewhere so that we don't forget. Here we go. Okay. Bullet movie. Please watch. Okay. There we go. All right. What do you want to... Do you want me to choose the next category, or do you want to?
Sure, you can choose it.
Okay. I say we go with the soundtrack.
Okay.
Now...
I agree.
Yeah. Now, I've mentioned before in some of these podcasts, I kind of rate the soundtrack, or what I try to do is based on how much I notice it and how much I think it contributes and does a good job at emphasizing what the movie's trying to do. And I honestly was very impressed with the soundtrack of this movie. I don't know about you, but...
I was thinking the same thing. I was so impressed. I think it did, like... It made me remember that soundtrack wasn't just music. It was, like effects. And, you know, like, part of it was the dead silence thing. Before someone was about to die or get attacked, everything would go completely silent. And they made a point to really showcase that. And it really built the suspense.
So good. It was... Yeah, it built the suspense, and like you realize just how much background noise there is in a soundtrack too. Plus, they do a really good job with like that classic horror movie violin stuff and when to come in at the right time at the right volumes. I noticed it just enough in the movie that I was, terrified, but also like really into it. I was genuinely like, given the ratings of this movie, I was genuinely blown away by this soundtrack.
Yeah. I was very impressed. It like really added to the movie, and
so much like that
in ways.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, what were you saying?
No, go ahead.
Like the first part where the lady dies, and she's like in the bed.
Yeah,
she's like walking up to it slowly, and then she gets attacked.
Yeah,
like they had some like thunder or something right at that moment, and I actually jumped.
Yeah, me too. And I was actually going to bring up that scene too, because there's that music playing on the radio, and one of the genuinely coolest parts of the movie for me is that music. I mean, I love that music. I don't know what it is, but it was really enjoyable, and I was grooving to the music, and then it like cuts out and gets really low and starts to like disappear, and you hear the kettle boiling, and then eventually just all disappears and it's silent, but this stuff shouldn't be silent, and it's just, it's so good.
Yeah, this was an amazing soundtrack. Did exactly what it was meant to do. Definitely made the movie, like, because I didn't even think it was really that scary of a movie, but the soundtrack really made up for whatever was lacking.
Absolutely.
I think.
I absolutely agree. This is like a chef's kiss on the soundtrack. I want to see who recorded this soundtrack so I can like give them a shout out.
Yeah, who knows? They should get a raise, whoever that was.
Music by Charlie Clouser. He worked with Trent Reznor of Nine Inch Nails from 1994 to 2000. He did the score for Saw and American Horror Story. Yeah, this guy's good. He's good. Real good.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I'm ready to give this a rating. I don't know about you.
Me too.
All right. Now, I've given some high ratings before and regretted them. This is not one I'm going to regret. I gave it a 4.95.
Okay. I'm straight up giving it a 5.
Okay.
Why'd you give it a 4.95?
Because I felt like I needed some room just in case, one of our next two movies is a 5 out of 5.
Fair enough.
But absolutely, okay. I was really on the 5 out of 5 for this, but I've made mistakes in the past that I kind of want to take back, such as...
Like 4.7 general experience on Anaconda?
We don't speak about that moment anymore.
I will never let that go.
I know, it's so bad.
Higher than Con Air. That's so funny.
I'm devastated. Con Air is so good, too. I love Con Air.
Yeah. I gave Commando a 4.8 for general experience. That's funny.
It's warranted. All these movies are enjoyable that I've seen so far. Like,
me too. I'm really getting ready for Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, though.
Me too.
Because not only is that movie terrible, but I'm going to watch the original first.
Oh,
And
and the
by
originals.
comparison, it's going to be awful.
Yeah, the original is one of the best horror movies ever made, in my opinion, and the second one's one of the worst
Yes,
ones ever made.
definitely. Yeah, it's a complete 180.
Yeah,
It's amazing.
it's amazing. I love that first movie.
Yeah.
It's good.
But who knows? Maybe this movie I thought was going to be terrible.
Yeah, me too.
But then when I watched it the second time, it was very enjoyable. So
I
maybe
honestly,
the other one will be that way too.
I was shocked as well with how much more I enjoyed it the second time I watched it.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Do you want to choose our next category?
Sure. Let's get cinematography out of the way.
All right. Do you wanna? What are your opinions in the cinematography?
I'd say decent.
Yeah.
Not too memorable, but there were some times where they kind of effectively showed stuff that was going on in the background. I saw at one point when he's in the lady's secret ghost lair, he's like looking through a book, and then you see her walk past in the mirror, but he doesn't notice.
Oh,
I thought that was a good one.
that's good. I didn't catch that. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a little bit sneaky.
Yeah. I also appreciated, at the detective's death, the zoom in on the razor buzzing with him in the background. Thought that was pretty.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and that was the razor buzzing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thought that was pretty funny.
Yeah, that's funny. Why did he have it on?
I don't know.
He turned it on at the last second. Plus, what is his battery power on that? Because mine always runs out of battery in like 10 minutes.
True. Must be a lot. Must be one of those like military ones. This
military grade.
This ties everything in. Don't you see, Michael?
What?
Military grade razor, electric razor.
Band of Brothers.
Band of Brothers. He turns it on right before he dies in what? A stressful situation. It's his way of coping with stress, and it's like the same situation he was in before and Saw.
Oh my god. That's true.
So true. It's the connecting piece of the puzzle.
That's amazing. Oh.
Yeah. But for cinematography, I agree with you. It's pretty meh. Like, there was cool shots, like you said. I found a lot of the angles pretty cool. There was a lot of zoom-in shots that were cool, like when he's going into the house and stuff like that. They did a good job of angling and moving shots and zooming. But honestly, I felt the color of the movie was not great. Like, I get it's supposed to be scary, but having that kind of cold, kind of blackish and whitish color, like with not a lot of saturation, I don't know, it just didn't really, it made the movie feel cheap to me rather than...
That's true. And they did a really weird choice where he had this really red car that contrasted against everything else.
Yeah.
Did you notice that?
I did notice that. It was weird. I don't know if that was supposed to represent that he's different than everybody else in the town, maybe?
Who knows? I'm going to look it up, see if anything comes up. Red car.
Did you just Google search red car and hope that this movie was the first thing that popped
Google
up?
search Dead Silence red car. That would be...
Dead Silence red car. I'm looking it up too. How to get... What? I'm not seeing anything here. I don't know about you. What was the red car used in the Dead Silence movie? Yahoo Answers.
Yeah, that's what I keep finding. Oh, did you say that the Jigsaw's puppet name was Billy?
Yeah.
Oh.
The name of the puppet in this was Billy, too.
Okay. I love how it says on the Wikipedia page for Billy the puppet, it says species puppet. What? What is that? Species?
Species. Puppet.
Species? It's so weird.
Oh, apparently this movie was made into a haunted house at Universal's Halloween Horror Nights in 2007 in Florida.
Okay.
Hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't find anything about this.
Yeah. But yeah, you're right though. It was a bit of a weird choice.
Oh. Oh, apparently, uh, this puppet in Dead Silence wears the same outfit as Jigsaw's puppet.
Oh, ho, ho, ho. See, more connections.
Yep, more connections.
This is unreal.
Okay. We should probably continue here.
Okay.
I don't know what the purpose of that red car was. Maybe it was to make the main character's vehicle clearly visible
Yeah.
from the background. I don't know, but it didn't really have any effect other than I noticed it.
Right. Right.
So I don't really have much more to say about this. I'm going to give cinematography. I'm going to give it a 2.9.
2.9. Okay.
Yeah.
Man, I think that's a really respectable rating to give. I'm probably going to go a little bit lower because I just feel like if they just upped the saturation in the movie, it would look so much better and not as cheap and weird as it did. Like, I really think this movie gets, like, on Rotten Tomatoes, I think it's 30% right now. It goes up to, like, 50 to 55% if they even just do that small little thing. So I'm going to give it, like,
Yeah.
a 2.1 out of 5.
Fair enough. Yeah, it was pretty rough.
Yeah.
Okay, where should we go next?
Well, what do we have left?
Okay, we got Donnie, costume design, and general experience.
Okay, well, I know which one should be last. So, costume design?
Yes, let's do costume design. I guess I'll start.
Okay.
Honestly, I have to say, when I saw Donnie Wahlberg's entrance with the trench coat and the mustache and the receding hairline, I was like, "This is my favorite character in the movie."
Me too.
The
Immediately.
moment I saw him,
Immediately.
I loved the trench coat.
It was amazing. He looks so good. I'm looking up a picture of it right now.
I'll look up a picture too.
Oh, it's ideal. And that weird mustache too. Oh, I love it.
Yeah, that mustache I really enjoyed.
Yeah. I feel like the other clothing's pretty good too.
Yeah, he's always wearing a suit.
Yeah. Honestly, his costume design is the best costume design in the movie, though.
Oh, for sure. The trench coat.
Yeah.
Something about the trench coat I just
So-
enjoy very much.
Just adds to his overall vibe.
Yeah, he's like kind of a cheesy cop,
Yeah.
and that's exactly how he was dressed.
Yeah, I agree. Now, I know with other movies we've thrown in some, special effects and stuff into this category. And I just want to say this had some cool special effects with the tongues ripped out and mouth open, as well as the demon having a really long tongue. I thought that was pretty chill as well.
Yeah, that was a little bit of a weird thing, but it was cool effect.
Yeah. Yeah. I think, for me personally, that weirdness is what was scary about it to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I definitely thought that they did a good job with the ghost lady's costume too.
Oh, for sure.
They made her wearing all black.
Yeah.
And just her face looks like she's angry.
That real creepy face. Looks very demonic. As well as I noticed that the second time I watched it through. And it also mentions it on the IMDb page, but they the father, who's a puppet, right? He looks dead, right? When he talks. When I second time through, he's like pale. You can see all his veins. I noticed at one point there was like yellow gathering up in one of his eyes, as if it was like starting to rot out. I thought that was pretty cool.
Wait, on who?
The dad, who was actually a puppet the whole time.
Oh, yeah. I did think his makeup was a bit obvious, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like they should have gone with an older actor for that. I don't think it's the makeup's fault. I think it's like they chose a young actor and then it tried to age him instead of just picking an older actor.
Yeah, that's true. I actually agree with that.
Yeah. Anyways, actually, this reminds me. I'm gonna up my cinematography rating to 3.1.
Okay.
Only because I also remember there was one scene where they were doing the flashback where Mary Shaw was doing her performance on stage.
Right.
And they like manipulated the lighting so her face was like dark and you couldn't really see it. And I thought that was really creepy.
That is really creepy.
Well done. Anyways, back to costume design.
I'm leaving it at 2.1 just because of that easy fix they could have done.
Fair enough. But yeah, costume design.
Yeah.
The main character's costume wasn't that memorable, but I guess that kind of makes sense.
It does make sense because he's just supposed to be like a normal dude, in my opinion.
Yeah.
The Mortician's costume was very Mortician-y. Wasn't exceptional. Yeah. Wasn't.
It was interesting. Yeah, it was interesting because they did a flashback, and I'm pretty sure his dad in the flashback was wearing the same thing that he was wearing.
Really?
Yeah. So I thought. So when they did the flashback, I thought it was him.
Oh, okay.
And it's funny because the guy's a kid, and then he's like, a few days after this happened, this kid disappeared, and then she died. And then it cuts to a scene of the guy wearing that costume, like 30 years older. And I'm like, how did he age 30 years in like 2 days? But
yeah, that's true. That's a good point. I feel like you got to dock some points for that for using the same costume, though.
Yeah, it was a little bit. It kind of threw me off, but I don't know. I thought otherwise the costumes were good.
Yeah. I'm definitely giving it a big points boost for Donnie Wahlberg's costume.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, they nailed it. On the head.
They did nail it.
Yeah.
All right, what are you going to give it?
Unless
you have something else to say.
I don't have anything else to say. I think I'm going to give it, like, it wasn't ultra exceptional except for Donnie Wahlberg's costume, so I'm actually going to give it a 3.6 out of 5.
Okay. I decided to give it a 4.2.
Solid. That's a fair rating, especially for those special effects.
Yeah, I think they did a good. I actually thought they did a pretty good job, but it's no Green Inferno.
No.
Like, Green Inferno is legendary costumes.
Legendary. Unreal.
Wow.
Unreal costumes. And special effects, too.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
All right. So where are we off to now?
General experience, do you think?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Do you wanna maybe let me know how you felt about this movie first?
Sure.
Interested to hear before I give my take.
Yes. I was, I went in expecting it to be a drag through the entire thing.
Mm-hmm.
But it was honestly, it was entertaining and it was pretty intense, even though really, if you think about it, not a lot of people actually died in the movie.
No.
But they still kept it interesting. And some of the stuff I thought there's like some stuff was a bit predictable,
Okay.
but I thought overall it kept my interest up until the point when Donnie Wahlberg died, and I was like, eh. But I did think that the ending was kind of stupid,
Yeah.
especially considering even though.
Oh, I think you might have cut out on me there, Mike. Do you maybe wanna mention that again?
All right. So we had a little bit of technical difficulties there again, but I'm just going to continue where I left off. So, talking about how I kind of lost interest after Donnie Wahlberg died because he was really carrying the movie. And I did think that the ending was kind of stupid because I just don't think there's any way that his dad was a dummy because he was just way too real. I don't know. Maybe that's the point, but whatever. Anyways, but for the most part, I thought it was pretty good, and I would probably watch it again in the future.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I'm definitely in the same boat as you. It's definitely rewatchable in the future, if not just for Donnie Wahlberg's performance. And there's definitely some other uplifting points in the movie for rewatchability, such as like even though we kind of ragged on the plot of it, the general plot points are pretty interesting. Um, except for the ending, like you mentioned. For me, I think the true ending of the movie for me is when Donnie Wahlberg dies. Kind of like
yeah,
because yeah, anything after that's not that great, in my opinion. With I don't want to be too harsh, but that's just how I feel. The ending is not exciting. It doesn't really leave you with a good taste in your mouth, which is kind of the point in some movies, but not when you've been rooting for a guy the whole movie. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Um,
I honestly think that the ending would have been more impactful if we cared more about the main character
yeah, I
and
agree.
were more invested in him.
I agree. Yeah, that's so true. Because yeah, I
And
didn't
I,
feel
yeah,
anything from that ending.
yeah, me neither.
Um, but other than that, I think I genuinely enjoyed it much better than I thought I would. Um, I don't know if it's the mix of how funny it can be at points, or how the story is, or how much I like Donnie Wahlberg in it, especially. Like, I don't know. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, me too.
All right. Do you want to do something different this time for our general experience when we announce our out of 5 rating?
Sure. What is
Okay.
it?
I'm going to count down from 3. We're going to say it at the same time. It's going to be not, nobody's going to hear what we said, and then we'll repeat it after. What do you think?
Okay.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Okay. I'm going to count down from 5, actually. Okay.
Okay.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 4.
3.3. Oh,
Okay.
4. Okay.
Yeah, I went with a 4. Yeah, and you did a 3.3 there.
Yep.
Nice.
I guess that's pretty good.
I mean,
Yeah,
that tracks with me always giving higher general experience ratings than you.
yeah, yeah, that's true.
Generally, I
You,
guess.
you did give Dead Silence a higher general experience than Green Inferno. How do you feel about that?
Honestly, I actually feel okay with that. I feel okay with that rating. I think I enjoyed Dead Silence more than I did watching The Green Inferno, as much as I like The Green Inferno.
I think I did too,
Yeah.
but for me, I somehow still gave Green Inferno a much higher rating, which I'm kind of disappointed about now. But whatever.
Hey,
That's how it
now you know
goes.
what it's like when you give Anaconda a 4.7.
It's very painful. I love how you gave Anaconda higher than Con Air. I will never I'll never forget that.
I'm devastated by it.
Steve Buscemi destroyed by John Voight.
Oh, don't even say
Yeah.
that. I
Actually,
love.
update on John Voight. I know probably this is widespread knowledge, but I had no idea that John Voight was Angelina Jolie's dad.
You mentioned that to me the other day, and my mind was blown. I had no idea.
Yeah, that took me completely by surprise. For some reason, I thought it was a hilarious revelation.
It's
weird. Yeah, definitely wouldn't expect it. She definitely didn't get her acting skills from him.
No. And you definitely don't ever hear of them ever associating or anything either.
Yeah, I think they might have been not. I think he may not have been involved with her life or something, really. I don't know. I just thought it was an interesting thing.
It's pretty interesting. I had no idea.
Yes. Anyways, guess we can go back to dead silence here.
Okay. We have one category left.
Oh, yeah.
And it's a category that pertains to the man we have been praising this whole movie.
Donnie!
Good old Donnie.
Donnie is the X factor of movies.
It is. This movie, if you watch this movie, you will see why Donnie is a category here. Because the Donnie in this movie is the reason this movie is good.
He is the key to this movie.
The key. We haven't stopped talking about him the whole time. That's how good he is.
Yeah, it's like how if you have one ingredient in a recipe, if you take it out, the recipe's terrible. But if you add it in, the recipe's amazing. Yep. That's literally Donnie.
Yeah, that's it. That's him with this movie. Any movie, actually.
It makes every movie worth watching.
It does. 100%. I don't know why he doesn't have more roles.
I don't know either. I'm kind of hoping, you know how in Austin Powers, Mike Myers plays half the characters?
Yeah.
I'm kind of hoping of a version of a movie where Donnie Wahlberg plays most of the characters.
That'd be insanely good.
I would watch that repeatedly.
Imagine Donnie Wahlberg in a blonde wig playing a woman.
I would watch it.
Me too. I bet he could pull it off.
He probably could, especially the love scene between him and himself.
Commando. Imagine Commando remade where Donnie plays every character.
I would watch that. I feel like he would definitely bring his own methods to it, but honestly, I could imagine him with Jenny in the opening sequence.
Yeah.
Of Commando being a great dad.
Yeah.
Or going full
Honestly, I actually think he would do a good job in Commando.
He totally would. It would be completely different, but I think it would still be great. And not even ironically good, but actually good.
Actually good. Yeah, I agree. 100%.
Now, what if he played Bennett?
He could pull that off. Donnie could pull off anything. I really am completely convinced, though. He could pull it off so much better than the real Bennett.
Oh, for sure. Well, and anyone could. Better than that Bennett. What did he get? An F for acting?
I don't
know. That was so funny. F for costume design.
Oh my gosh, that is the worst costume I think I've seen in any of the movies we've seen so far.
Definitely. So out of place.
So bad.
Okay.
The mesh that looks like chainmail.
It's very tightly fitting against his belly.
Yeah.
Oh, so good.
I'm gonna get to laugh fit again.
Yeah.
All right. Now,
okay.
For the Donnie rating, obviously Donnie Wahlberg's in it, so it's a 5 out of 5 to begin with. But since he is the reason this movie is good and he is the sole reason, I'm going to give it a 5.1 out of 5. I don't know if we're allowed to do that, but I'm doing it.
You know, that is a new interpretation of math and ratings.
Yeah.
But I definitely agree with it. And I was thinking that I might even do the same.
I think I encourage you more than
because
anything to do the same.
so you know what? We're gonna both give him 5.1s.
He deserves it.
Sounds good.
He deserves it. I think we're bringing justice to the Donnies of this world.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
What?
Okay.
Okay.
So this takes it to the end.
Okay.
This makes Dead Silence our highest rated movie
No.
of all the movies we've rated, with a 3.66 rating out of 5.
No way.
It beats Con Air, beats Commando,
Oh.
beats Doom.
Oh. By how much? Like, how much is it in the lead?
Okay, Dead Silence got 3.66.
Okay.
And next is Doom with 3.38.
Oh my gosh.
So a solid like 0.28 higher.
That's
which
insane.
is fairly drastic.
That's insane.
Yeah.
I think 3.66 reflects pretty well this movie.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. I mean, without Donnie, this movie's probably the lowest rated movie in the
You know what?
categories.
If we gave it a 0 for Donnie, it would still beat Anaconda by 0.25.
Wild.
So I think Donnie Wahlberg, but also unsuspectedly, the soundtrack really
Yeah.
came through.
That soundtrack was real good.
Yeah, because we did not rate the actors. I think the only... Actually, let's see. 10.8. Actors and plot, on average, were the same as our ratings for Anaconda.
Wow.
So, but then everything else just pulled through.
That's insane. That's actually insane that this movie is our highest rated movie. So I guess that goes without saying that it's beaten the Green Inferno, right?
Yes.
Oh,
So,
wild. I really thought this movie was going to be the worst movie of them all.
I thought so too, but it turned out to be the best movie,
Yeah.
apparently.
It's just because Donnie Wahlberg.
Yeah, it is. And you know what? That's what we say. Donnie Wahlberg is the key category that you have to succeed in order to win.
The make it or break it.
It really is.
That's wild. That's wild. This is our highest rated movie so far.
Yeah, I'm very impressed.
I'm in shock right now.
Yeah, and not even by a little bit, like a solid chunk.
That's insane. Is this movie gonna win the whole bracket?
It could. Honestly, it could.
It could. I guess we'll have to see with the other categories we introduce in other levels, or depending on how we do the next level, if we just choose. I don't know. We'll see. But
yeah, we still need to figure out how we're gonna do the next brackets, but
yeah,
that's okay. We got some time. I think what's next? Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2?
Yeah. Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. It's a so that's the end of Battle Bracket 3, right? With the Green Inferno going down to Dead Silence, which is a huge upset because the Green Inferno was one of the favorites as well.
Yeah, I thought it was going to go straight through. So far, the only one that has gone through that I thought would has been Commando.
Honestly,
but that beat Anaconda, which wasn't really too much of a surprise.
No, I'm actually like same here. I thought it was going to be Con Air, Commando, and the Green Inferno.
And that would have been totally fair estimates, but
yeah.
And Doom surprised me.
Doom surprised me a lot too. Yeah. All right. So since that's bracket 3, Dead Silence moving on. It's going to be facing off against the winner of bracket 4, which is actually the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 against From Dusk Till Dawn.
Yeah, it's going to be intense. I almost guarantee you that it will be facing off against From Dusk Till Dawn.
Me too, but I would have said that about Con Air versus Doom, so or the Green Inferno versus Dead Silence.
Yeah, we'll see.
We'll see.
We'll see.
Wild. I'm in shock right now. I don't even know what to say.
Yeah, I was so surprised. I hope that we find out that we never recognized that Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 had Donnie Wahlberg as the main character, but I don't think that's going to happen.
I don't think so either. Oh, holy macaroni. I'm recovering over here.
It was so surprising.
So surprising. All right. Do you think we should end here then?
Yeah,
All right. What's our word that we're saying today?
definitely Donnie.
Donnie. All right. All right. Let me just get to my stop recording button here. All right. Are you ready?
Yes.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Donnie.
Donnie!